Welcome to SVGTV News for Wednesday, May 9th, 2018. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. Director of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College, Nigel Scott, has given his institution's pledge that they are molding highly qualified nursing professionals through its Division of Nursing Education. Scott says that nursing training has been offered locally for many years and within recent years has fallen under the ambit of the SVG Community College, which introduced a structured associate degree program.
On the verge of putting out a call for persons who are interested. We have not finalized the arrangement as yet with the university we are franchising from, but we are interested in seeing how many persons meet the requirements that will be necessary. For that program, persons must have passes in CSEC English A, mathematics, biology or human and social biology, and at least 2 other CSEC subjects. Next week or so there would be information out on our website and social media and in the newspapers asking persons to apply online at our website. The information will be posted if they are interested in doing the bachelor's program. So yes, that is going to be the next bachelor's program that we'll offer at the college.
He says with the expanded training, scores of persons have qualified as nurses and have been contributing to the local healthcare sector.
At the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College of our Division of Nursing Education and our nursing program, we're very proud of the quality of nurses that we produce, and not just nurses but nursing assistants and midwives. We produce nurses who are not only functioning in St. Vincent and the Grenadines but throughout the region and throughout the world. You know, we continue to also receive requests for nurses in the diaspora and in the developed countries to come to St. Vincent to do their community nursing electives, for example. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that our Vincentian nurses have gone out and persons out there have seen the quality of nurses that we have produced in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So my mother was a nurse. My sister is a nurse, and so nursing is very dear to me, and I am very pleased that we continue to produce some of the best nurses in the region and in the world.
The SVG Community College director also says that they are looking at the possibility of having nurses that completed the associate's degree program at the Division of Nursing Education pursue the degree program, but over a period of 18 months.
Persons who already are registered nurses, they should be seeking to do the post-RN bachelor's. This is not the program we are currently looking to offer at the Division of Nursing Education. Available from University of the West Indies, University of Technology, and other institutions in the region and beyond. And at some point in the future, we will be looking at offering that as well. Once you have done the 3-year associate degree and you have passed the regional exam for nurse registration, which is the licensure exam, so you're a registered nurse, you can practice. If you want a bachelor's, do the post-RN, 18 months and you get your bachelor's degree. It's really like a top-up. It will not really make much sense you doing over the 4 years, because the 4-year pre-RN bachelor's would cover the things in the current associate degree program, plus will take you up to the bachelor's level, hence the 4 years.
Nurses here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines are joining hands with their international counterparts in observing Nurses Week from May 6th to the 12th. During this week, SVGTV News is featuring the work done by nurses across this nation as they contribute to healthcare at private and public healthcare institutions. In the first of a 3-part series, Barvin Oliver speaks with veteran nurse Pauline De Freitas, who applies her skills and knowledge to fulfill a need in the community.
Nurses play a critical role in the health of the community, both in the private and the public sector. One of these professionals is Pauline De Freitas, who shares what inspires her passion for nursing.
Just as I started the school, I realized, you know what, this is definitely something that I want to be a part of. And as I finished school, I started to realize where are the areas that I liked. And at that time, I took a liking to children. I did a preceptorship at a pediatric hospital. And there's a soft spot with nursing and pediatrics. Took into that. But I think with nursing, what we have to think about globally is that nursing isn't just bedside. Nursing isn't just cater to one area of medicine. I think nursing has become such a wide career that you could go into a variety of spectrum of areas and actually learn, see, get to know people, and actually see what it is part of nursing that you like the most and target your area to that.
De Freitas, who serves as Managing Director of Health Solutions Inc., says she would like nurses to continue to take pride in their work.
From, if I look back what we used to be and what we are now, almost 6 years later, there definitely has been a growth. There has been a growth from a dialysis standpoint. There has been a growth from the educational standpoint that we were providing, and also the monitoring of the population in the community. Now, over the years as well, other healthcare professionals have taken on as well the diabetic and hypertensive population, and different doctors, nurses, clinics here are catering to that too. So I think all of us together, we're definitely in a much better off state than we were years back when it comes to this particular population here. And I think from a nursing standpoint, I can't say anything but good things about it, because it has taught us to see where the downfalls are, where the education is needed, where our nursing skills that we're celebrating this week is actually being utilized. Education, guidance, support, we do all of that. With nursing, it doesn't just stop at bedside. I think in nursing, it's a spectrum of things that we're actually doing here. So I'm glad for that. And that is, don't limit yourself. Nursing isn't about one skill, isn't about one trade. Nursing is a very big field, a wide range of things that you could do. And don't allow one area to limit your knowledge and your expertise. Over time, learn to grow. Over time, take what the healthcare wants to educate you on, and in return, you give back to healthcare as to what you've learned and what you could offer as an individual. With nursing, don't forget to be empathetic. Don't forget to be sympathetic. Don't forget to be take pride in your work, because any patient that comes across your way, they want to know that they have a nurse who's proud of what they do. They have a nurse who is educated, a nurse who knows and is knowledgeable and is willing to take them on as a patient, educate them, guide them, and provide them the support that any patient, any ill person is looking for.
Marvin Olver, The Evening News.
The South Rivers community is the recipient of the 11th Early Childhood Development Center at a cost of $820,000 EC through the support of the Basic Needs Trust Fund, the BNTF. The center was officially opened yesterday at an event which was attended by a number of government officials and members of the community. The event featured a number of speakers and performances by students. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Maureen Williams, says the ULP administration has helped to establish 11 such centers, at which 399 students are enrolled. She emphasized the importance of a good early childhood education.
10 early childhood centers starting in 2009. All these centers, with the exception of Edinburgh, are attached to a primary school. To date, the present enrollment in these 10 centers is 399 students. With note, therefore, and pride, today we are here opening the 11th center at South Rivers. Yes, I think the government deserves a round of applause. The focus continues to be that of providing access and quality pre-primary education to all children, paying close attention to those in rural areas and those who may be at risk. The establishment of these centers has provided access in areas where children are less fortunate.
project manager of the BNTF, Donson Johnson, commended the government's efforts to enhance education. He says the BNTF is pleased to have partnered with the government in the establishment of 6 of these early childhood development centers.
The aim is to build an enabling environment that is conducive to early learning childhood development, especially in the poor, vulnerable, and marginalized communities of this country. Under the BNTF program, so far 6 centers were already built or constructed, and it is expected that others will follow when BNTF 9 is rolled out soon. In terms of money, just over $3.7 million has been spent or expended on early learning childhood development under the BNTF program. As you have seen, it is not the construction of the center that speaks to this invention only, but funds were also expended on furniture, equipment, learning materials, etc. And a playground was also built for the children. It's on the other side of the building there. All this was done to aid and to enhance the quality of the teaching learning process.
With some $130 million spent in education this year, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves said that his government will continue to invest in the nation's children. The Prime Minister, who was speaking at yesterday's opening of the South Rivers Early Childhood Development Center, says over the 17 years in office, his government has invested more in education than any other administration.
The libraries, everything connected with education. This year, and stay in your seat when you hear the number, what we are spending this year on education, $126.9 million. And that doesn't include the $6 million which we give to the training division of the Public Service Commission in order to make a contribution also to the scholarships to university and the like. So we're talking over $130 million. You hear what I'm telling you? That means for education alone, every month for education alone, I have to find $11 million, over $11 million a month for education alone.
The Prime Minister says while many have been calling for roads and other infrastructure to be fixed, he believes that investing in the youth is true prosperity.
What you voted for, education revolution, among other things. That is what is happening right before you. So that when you hear somebody say, I don't know why comrade ain't fix the pothole in front of me gate. Well, bear it in mind. I prefer to fix the pothole metaphorically, what might be in your child's head, which is better than the one on the road. We got to fix the one on the road too, you know. But you have to take care of the children's education, and you have to take care of their health very much.
Minister of Agriculture Soboto Caesar has highlighted the critical role of effective communication and data collection to a community's disaster preparedness efforts. Minister Caesar was speaking today at a news briefing as he outlined plans by members of the communities in South Central Windward to create a community-based radio station to assist in disaster relief efforts and to hand over raincoats to be used in periods of disaster. Minister Caesar says the radio station can assist in disseminating important information to the communities, thus reducing risk of harm during a disaster.
A part of the preparation process, it has been earmarked that the issue of communication, it plays and will continue to play a very vital and a very important role. And there is a quest within the constituency to establish a community radio station, so that in the event that there is a disaster impacting, we want to ensure that we can communicate with persons within the constituency, first and foremost, who will be aware of the execution of certain duties that they will have to enact.
The Agriculture Minister says data collection exercises will be carried out by stakeholders to determine the specific needs of each member of the community.
Therefore, within the constituency, there will be persons who will be collecting information. One of the critical issues that we have to address, we would want a mapping of all the homes where persons have built in vulnerable areas, on banks which are prone to landslides, persons who are living next to rivers. We want to know this information, to know the person's names, how many persons are living in the household, whether or not they have a cell phone, what is the cell phone number, how we can reach that person. That information will have to be passed on to the community radio station. Mr. Akers would have to have that telephone number. The producers cooperative will ensure that they are connected to the closest center, and in the event that food becomes an issue, that will be able to be addressed.
Michael Akers, a community activist, used the opportunity to encourage other communities to get involved in similar activities as part of their preparedness for the hurricane season.
That information for me is vital, and I'm excited about that, working on that aspect of the project to help to collect data. Of course, we cannot do this work without working with the other organizations within the communities, because I'm aware that there are other people within the communities, other groupings that were working over the years as disaster preparedness coordinators, etc. And we would also have to feed into what NIMO is doing. So I think this is a worthwhile project that we can all get together and do. And I would encourage each and every Vincentian to be a part of this process. We are at a stage in life where we cannot be complacent. We are to be our brother's keeper and sister's keeper, and so it is important that we work together.
Buyers here, beware. That's the warning which is being given by trade officials within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Commerce and Trade to local consumers intending to purchase heavy equipment and machinery from Shanghai in China. In a release issued through the Agency for Public Information, the API, the ministry says that it has received a number of complaints from persons who ended up receiving equipment which differ from what they had ordered. The Ministry of Trade is therefore asking that importers exercise due diligence with respect to machinery from Shanghai, as there is no legal guarantee or warranty on goods sourced from that city. Consumers are therefore asked to do the following: make sure that the business or website through which you are ordering heavy duty equipment or machinery is reputable. Ensure that there is a system in place for redress in the event that there are problems with what you have ordered, and make sure that the person through whom you are buying goods or services is trustworthy.